Sriracha, the iconic hot sauce that has become a staple in American kitchens, has an interesting backstory that begins with a Vietnamese refugee named David Tran. Tran's passion for spicy food led him to create Huy Fong Foods in 1980, named after the boat he took after fleeing Vietnam. Despite having no marketing or sales team, the company has become a multi-billion-dollar empire with a cult following worldwide. But how did Tran go from a poor farm boy in Vietnam to becoming a hot sauce billionaire? What difficulties did he experience as a refugee? What makes Sriracha so unique? David Tran, a child of Chinese descent, was born into a poor farming family in Vietnam's rural heartland. Tran learned the art of fermentation while surrounded by the earthly fragrances of the farmlands, a skill that would eventually serve as the cornerstone of his hot sauce empire. Life in Vietnam was unpretentious, yet rich. Tran's childhood was painted with an earthy aroma of the farmlands and the comforting embrace of familial bonds. David developed a love for spicy food. His mother would often make a homemade chili sauce that he found irresistible. He would eagerly devour it with almost every meal, savoring the fiery flavors that danced on his taste buds. This early exposure to spicy cuisine sparked a lifelong passion within him. David was drafted into the South Vietnamese Army during the Vietnam War, like many of his peers. He didn't fight, but the experience was a significant part in his life. During this time, he began producing a hot sauce using chilies grown in his brother's land in South Vietnam, a recipe that would later evolve into the sriracha we know today. However, the tranquility was short-lived as the Vietnam War cast a looming shadow over their peaceful existence. In 1978, as the newly established communist regime in Vietnam began targeting the ethnic Chinese, Tran made a gut-wrenching decision to abandon his homeland. He, his wife, son, and other family members were among the 300 refugees who escaped Vietnam aboard the freighter Huy Fong, which later inspired the name of his company. Tran arrived in Boston in the summer of 1979, a world far removed from his native Vietnam. The language was foreign, the culture was unfamiliar, and the future was unknown. With little more than a locket and 100 ounces of gold hidden in cans of condensed milk, David faced the daunting task of starting anew. However, the cold weather of Boston didn't suit him, and he missed the chilies available in Vietnam. After a call with his brother-in-law, who had resettled in LA and mentioned the availability of chilies in local markets, Tran decided to move there in January 1980. In LA, Tran took solace in his hometown's familiar flavors while struggling to acclimate to a new culture and language. He began experimenting with various components to replicate the taste of the hot sauce he had grown up with. He sold some of the gold he brought to open up a 2,500 square foot factory in Chinatown, where he started producing the hot sauce that we know as Sriracha. Then sharing this sauce with his fellow Vietnamese immigrants who were yearning for a taste of home as well. Tran realized he had something exceptional when the sauce was a hit. People enjoyed Tran sauce because of its distinct spicy flavor, and they wanted more. As Tran's hot sauce gained fame, he realized it was only the beginning. In the frosty winter of 1980, Tran landed in Los Angeles, a city teeming with opportunities and, notably, a rich supply of red chili peppers. He held fast to his mission to bring the flavors of his homeland to this new land, knowing that the secret to a superior hot sauce lay in fresh, top-notch ingredients. Just a month after setting foot in LA in February 1980, Tran rolled up his sleeves and got to work, establishing Huy Fong Foods. The name was a heartfelt nod to the freighter Huy Fong, the vessel that carried him and his fellow refugees to the United States. With this venture, Tran set his sights on introducing the fiery kick of Vietnamese hot sauce to America. Tran's first production site? His own backyard. He precisely blended fresh chili peppers, garlic, and vinegar, adjusting the proportions until he nailed the perfect sauce. He filled plastic jars with this fiery concoction and personally delivered them to local Asian markets and eateries in Los Angeles' Chinatown. The response was electric. People fell in love with the unique spicy flavor of Tran's sauce, and they couldn't get enough. In his first month of business, Tran pocketed a profit of $1,000, a promising start that fueled his ambition. But Tran's journey wasn't all smooth sailing. One early customer suggested the hot sauce was too hot and needed toning down, but Tran stood his ground. He believed in the quality and authenticity of his sauce, and he wasn't about to water it down to make it more marketable. This steadfast commitment to his product became a cornerstone of Tran's business philosophy. As word about the sauce spread, offers to buy the company or invest in it started rolling in, but Tran turned them all down. "This company is like a loved one to me. Why would I want to share it with someone else?" Tran said. His dedication to his business was rock solid, and his refusal to share ownership underscored his commitment to his vision. In the years that followed, Huy Fong Foods grew steadily. Tran expanded his operations, moving from the backyard to a 5,000 square foot building in Chinatown and then to a massive 68,000 square foot facility in Rosemead, California. Despite the expansion, Tran stayed hands-on in every aspect of the business, from sourcing the ingredients to supervising the production process.
In Los Angeles this past Sunday, the line stretched down the block at the first ever Sriracha Festival. There was Sriracha ice cream, Sriracha apples, and even Sriracha cocktails. This hot sauce has its own cookbook and has even been named Ingredient of the Year by Bon Appetit.
Sriracha skyrocketed from a niche market to the forefront of the American culinary scene in the early 2000s. It defied classification as an Asian spicy sauce and became a global culinary sensation. Foodies and cooks alike were smitten, and Sriracha began to season everything from burgers and pizzas to mac and cheese. It was a versatile condiment that gave any dish a scorching zing, and the culinary world wouldn't get enough of it. Inspired by the fantasies of a Vietnamese refugee, Sriracha had become a cult favorite. It developed a cult following in America, with people affectionately referring to it as rooster sauce. The sauce had a distinct appeal. It was a wealthy man's sauce at a poor man's price.
If you don't like my product, what happened with you, okay? Something wrong.
There's something wrong with people?
We do the fresh one, the best one, the cheapest one.
But there are those people who say it's too spicy.
Using less. Using less.
Sriracha became popular due to its low cost and distinctive flavor. However, the rise of Sriracha was only partially due to its distinctive flavor. This was the sauce of an immigrant who had left his nation with nothing but hope. It was a story of perseverance, passion, and the fulfillment of the American dream. People's emotional connection to Tran and his journey gave a touch of authenticity to Sriracha, making it more desirable. As the popularity of Sriracha grew, so did the competition. Other companies began making their own versions of the sauce, and corporate behemoths such as Subway and Frito-Lay joined the Sriracha bandwagon. Tran, on the other hand, was unconcerned. He recognized that his sauce possessed a quality that the other goods lacked: authenticity. Tran's passion for food and desire to share his culture with the world inspired the creation of Sriracha. This devotion was visible in every bottle of Sriracha and was unmistakable. Huy Fong Foods now produces over 20 million bottles of Sriracha annually, demonstrating its ongoing popularity. The sauce has sparked the creation of cookbooks, festivals, and even a documentary. Despite Sriracha's meteoric rise in popularity, the road has not been easy. Huy Fong Foods faced a lawsuit from a city in Irwindale, California in 2013 because of the pungent smells emitted by their factory. The case was eventually dismissed, but it served as a sharp reminder of the ups and downs of success. In 2022, Huy Fong Foods encountered another stumbling obstacle. A crop catastrophe led the company to cease manufacturing its trademark spicy sauces. The scarcity of chili peppers, the heart and soul of Sriracha, was a significant setback. The announcement of a Sriracha shortage sent shockwaves through the culinary world, with aficionados venting their frustration on social media. Tran, on the other hand, isn't one to back down. He continues to innovate, adding sauces such as chili garlic sauce and sambal oelek to his product line. He is also concerned with sustainability, ensuring that his products are environmentally friendly. Despite the difficulties, Tran is optimistic about the future. We hope for a fruitful fall season and thank our customers for their patience and continued support during this difficult time, the firm said. Despite crop failures and increased competition, Tran is committed to delivering the flavor of Vietnam to the rest of the world. One thing is sure, Sriracha is not going anywhere. Its distinctive flavor and tale have entrenched its position in millions of hearts and kitchens worldwide, from humble origins in Vietnam to a bustling plant in California. And at the center of it all is David Tran. We hope you liked learning about the man behind the sauce and how Huy Fong Foods rose to prominence. Let us know whether you like Sriracha in the comment section below. Remember to like this video and subscribe to our channel for more entertaining stories.